Hello, just on time, just about. Fish is going mad. Fish says, what joke? Is this yesterday when you were saying you wanted me to put you in a timeout? I was like, I can, but how long for? How long for? Should I stay or should I go? I mean, that depends on what you've got to do today. Fish eats cucumbers. As in, are you saying you're a personal fan of cucumbers? I can't lie, I find cucumbers a bit plain. I mean, they're fine, but they wouldn't be my first choice. They're just a bit watery, cucumbers, no? Fish says, Xhaka bad boy, yes. He is on the cover. Who else is on the cover? Is it Salah or Ekitike? I think it might be Ekitike. Um, so potentially two bad boys. It says cucumber with Salah and bangs. I was actually gonna say I wasn't gonna be that precise, but I was gonna say sometimes it can take the edge off of things, but that is a good example. Would it be a chicken wing Salon that you are referring to, or just Salon in general? Also, after you have your Salon, do you have four custard creams? I was looking at your profile picture the other day, and I was like, is that custard creams? And then I clicked on it, and I was like, yeah, that's four custard creams. So that's it's a good biscuit. I can't lie. They are underrated as far as biscuits go. I don't know if it's firmly like an English like British thing though. Custard creams it might be, but they are pretty nice. Fish says how many times? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. You've said 9 times. You think Liverpool are gonna win 9-0? Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay, so that's a piece of bread underneath. I did not notice that. That makes sense. That makes sense. Why there's four of them. I have not tried a custard cream sandwich, but I might give it a go. It's a way of having like both your dinner and dessert in one. So can't really complain about that. I mean, you get your carbs, you get your sugar. Okay, you don't get much protein, but I may give that a try one day. Fish says, Christmas fair, I got cucumbers. You got cucumbers at a Christmas fair. What kind of Christmas fair was this? And is that like a prize? Is that a prize at the Christmas fair? They give you a cucumber? An Everton shirt. Okay, well now things are starting to make sense. You can't have won the game at the fair if they give you a cucumber and an Everton shirt and a free F word pass. Well, an F word pass is always good. How long is the F word pass valid for? Is it like a week's F word pass? Is it a month? Is it permanent? Is it a permanent F word pass? And can you only use the F word pass with certain people, or does it allow you to use the F word pass with anyone? That is the question. They're taking a while to come out here. Fish spent 22 zloty. Is that the currency of Poland? Zloty. Zloty is 20 pence. So 22 zloty. About £5. Seems fair. Seems fair for a Christmas fair to spend £5. Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, or Leon Edwards. This is going to be controversial. Even though, they've kicked off. Even though, what's his name? Leon Edwards knocked out Kamaru Usman. I'd still put Usman number one. Out of those three. I'd probably go Usman, then Leon Edwards, then Kobe Covington. But yeah, they've kicked off on this match. Yeah, I know the referee Stuart Atwell. Yeah, there we go. It really irritates me when I'm trying to set the timer and they cover it up. There you go. Fantastic. That should work. Hi says hello Salah. I mean that's a good guess considering I've got Salah on the back of this shirt. Fish says Christmas fair. I got a free signed Podolski Gornik Zabje shirt, a free cappuccino, and Jack Grimm's and Puzzle of I Show Speed. I mean that's pretty good Christmas. I can't lie. Have you got a favorite gift that you received, or do you love them all equally? Hi says Liverpool got worse and England got better. Let's hope that reverses and England get worse then. If that means Liverpool get better. What is quite nice to see is that it's the same. It's pretty much the same lineup as the last game. So Salah's benched, Isak's playing, Wirtz is playing. The only change is that Robertson is on the left instead of Kirkes. I says, why don't you shave your beard? I could do. But I feel like I look a lot worse without a beard. Charlie Adventure says, come on Liverpool FC. Agree with that. How are you doing? Have you got a prediction for today? Would you be happy with a 1-0? Or would you want more than that? I can't lie, I'm not sure how. I'd probably take a 1-0 to be honest. That's how bad things are at the moment. But yeah, how about you? RG3 JDF JFJ. I bet you no one's read that whole thing out before. Says, have we started well? No, not really, to be honest. The ball is in Liverpool's half. Look a bit nervous, to be honest with you, but it's okay. It's only been 3 minutes, so it's alright. How you doing, Pixel? Says knock knock. Guess who scored? I'm guessing it must be Daniel Munoz. I'm guessing. Oh, and it is. For a right back, he seems to get quite a few goals. To be fair, good old Daniel. I think he got a goal the other day as well. Charlie is hoping for a Liverpool 2-0 versus Sunderland. Yeah, that's better. 1-0s can always be a bit nervy, so yeah, 2-0 would give me a bit more confidence. I can't lie, Sunderland have had all the chances in the first few minutes. So I feel like Liverpool need to just weather the storm slightly. Just weather the storm. I always find it weird when Van Dijk takes goal kicks. Because I thought half of Alisson's appeal was that he's very good with the ball at his feet. So why would Van Dijk need to take the goal kick? I don't know. There must be some sort of reason for it. Wirtz is on the wide left, which is interesting. I mean, both Wirtz and Gakpo are on the left. What's going on here? Why are they both on the left? Nobody's on the right. What's going on? Unless he's kind of playing two up top. But why are both Wirtz and Gakpo on the left? Fish says red card Chelsea. Are you serious? I think you might be messing, because there was that game was it last week or the week before where they kept getting players sent off? I can't see anything on my thing, so there may be something else. How you doing, Stephen? I hope you are good. I've given up on listening to BBC Radio 5 and chosen you instead. Fantastic. That's good to hear. I'll try my best not to say like. Do you recall the other day I kept saying like? So I'm gonna try my best to not do that. Counter-attack opportunity for Liverpool. And they do absolutely nothing with it. Pixel says Leeds goal. Jaka Bijol against Chelsea. We'll see if they can maintain their lead. Oh my God, Villa have come back. Villa went down 2-0, didn't they? So Brighton went 2-0 up. And then Watkins has gotten 2 back. It's going to be quite a few goals in that game. Charlotte says, has Ekitike shown enough to be a starter? I think he has shown enough to be a starter. The only thing is, I would still start Isak in front of him in the number 9 position. Ekitike started off very strong. He's flattened out a little bit, but that's not the end of the world. But I'd still, in terms of the centre forward position, if Isak's fit, I'd still start Isak. I guess the question is, if Ekitike is fit, would you start him on the left-hand side as a left winger? Or would you perhaps play Ekitike and Isak up top together? I think those are questions that we might need to explore. How are you doing, Snus? Bijol scored. Indeed he did. What are your thoughts on the manager now? Because I remember, like, was it a week ago you were really angry, and I think that's justifiably so. What was the icing on the cake for me was perhaps the PSV loss. That felt like a step too far. So do you still want to get the manager out, or are you willing to give him a chance for maybe 1 or 2 games? Steven says, I like to recall like, and like, thank you for like remembering. No problem. Like, I did my best. Like, I can't even pretend I'm a Geordie, because I believe part of that is Geordie dialect. Like, so I don't even have that excuse, unfortunately. Fish says, who's on Brighton Liverpool? You will find out soon enough in terms of the YouTube cover, because I don't remember. Snus is doing good. Dropping Salah twice is a disgrace. Ooh, I can't lie. I was happy that he got dropped, because for me he hadn't been performing and he hadn't been defending. Oh my God, Kanate, wake up! But as I was saying, for me he hadn't been performing and he hadn't been defending. So to me, it made sense to drop him. And then they played quite well in that game. I appreciate the results of that game are skewed slightly because it was West Ham, who are rubbish. So would you have played Salah today? I can't lie. I would have dropped Salah again today, even though I'm wearing his shirt. I'm quite happy that he's kept mostly the same lineup. Snus says, yes, I am still slot out. It don't change for us winning against a terrible West Ham. I hear what you say. Or should I say, I hear what you're saying. I think today will be a better test because Sunderland are doing a lot better in the league than West Ham are. So let's see how it goes. Fish says we should sign Ibrahim Maza. What position does he play? Fish wants to drink a cocktail. It's a bit late for that. I mean, is that like a mimosa? You'll have to tell me what that actually is. But yeah, is it a bit late for that? Have you got to wake up early tomorrow? Sinus says you cannot drop a legend. That's what makes it difficult, I think, given what he's done for the club over the past 8 years. So I think that did make it a more difficult decision. The main thing for me is I just feel he hasn't really been defending much, which in itself, I mean, he wasn't really defending last year, but it wasn't a huge problem last year because he was still scoring even though he wasn't defending. I think the problem this year is he hasn't been scoring. So it makes it a lot more difficult to accommodate him into the team. But I guess today will be the real test of that. As you said, I don't think they can read too much into the West Ham game because West Ham are terrible. But since he's dropped Salah again, I think today will be the real test of that decision. Snus says he is a top 5 goal scorer. Ooh, cross saved. And now people are legit disrespecting him. I'm just tired of that. Yeah, I see it as two distinct, separate things. I think all of that is correct. And I think if people are disrespecting him, I think that's going too far. If and when he leaves, sorry, not if, when he leaves, I think he does still deserve a kind of statue outside Anfield. But I think equally, I think it's fair to say he perhaps has not been performing recently. So for me, it's like some sort of middle ground that like you still have to respect the guy. You still have to respect everything he's done. You still have to respect everything he is. But at the same time, find that balance where you're like, okay, you're great. You're amazing. You've carried us. We owe you a debt of gratitude. But right now, since you're not in the best form, we have to drop you. And for me, it goes into that discussion of kind of nobody is bigger than the team. I just feel like even though Salah's a legend and he's amazing, and nobody should be disrespecting him, if you continue to play him when he's poor, it almost insinuates that he's bigger than the club. So it's a tough. It's a tough situation. Black Cat says Isak needs to perform in this game. Agree with that. I think with Salah not playing, there's additional pressure on Isak to kind of get the goals. Because you could argue in this lineup, I was going to say he's the only real goal scorer. But Isak and Gakpo are the only kind of pure goal scorers, I'd say. So you're right. With Salah not being there is additional pressure. Zaim says, how are you doing? Hope you're good. The fact that Slot has changed his system and making big calls implies he has dropped his ego and recognized his mistakes. Slot in. I like the fact that he's changing things up. What was really irritating me was when he just kept playing the same formation game after game after game after game and then getting battered 3-0 by by Man City, getting battered 3-0 by Nottingham Forest, getting battered 4-1 by PSV. It was just really irritating me how he just would not change things. So I'm glad he's changed things. I'm glad he's changed things. Because the thing is, losing is one thing. I feel like the other side of the coin is how you react to losing. If he'd lost all these games and he'd at least changed things, I would have been like, okay, at least he's trying something. Granted, it's not working. At least he's trying something. So, in the previous weeks, I was really annoyed that he wasn't changing things. I'm glad he's changed things up a bit now, and I'm glad that he's stuck to his guns in terms of. Oh, TikTok's not gonna like that. I've said stuck to his GUNS, so then TikTok's gonna complain. Watch. Like I'm not saying anything bad. I'm saying he's stuck to his guns. So I'm glad he's stuck to his guns. Snow says, I've been listening to Craig these couple of weeks and the shit he's talked is insane. Well, there's your mistake. Don't listen to that clown. He's a complete idiot. These people, they just kind of say outrageous things for views. They'll say Salah's a disgrace, Salah out, get him out my club. And then if he scores a hat-trick, they'll be singing his song again. Like, don't listen to that guy. It's not good for your mental health. And I'm not saying don't listen to him, listen to me instead. There's plenty of other people who are not idiots. That guy's a complete clown. There's a message from Keshav that I've seen that's really funny. I'll get to it though. Actually, I'll put it on. Keshav says, bro, have you seen the Irish player? Miaz, and first name is that. I've not seen him, but apparently that's my uncle's favorite player. Okay, that makes it sound even worse. That is good. Well, one of these days, these names are gonna catch me out. But that's a good one. I like the originality. Zame's good. Hope all is well. Yeah, not too bad. All is good with me. However, still not convinced by Kanate. Yeah, same. I get so irritated and so anxious and so concerned whenever he gets on the ball. Apparently as well, Real Madrid don't want him anymore. Because I thought, okay, his mind's gone, his brain is in Madrid, that's why he's not concentrating. Apparently, Real Madrid don't even want the guy anymore, which is kind of hilarious if you think about it. So if that is the reality of the situation, so Real Madrid don't want him anymore, I would still give him a new contract, purely because he's an asset and you need to protect his value. So I would still give him a new contract, but I would not have him as the starter, if that makes sense. That's probably what I would do. Finley, who's a Geordie, says the only game I want Isak to score is tonight. Mackham Slayer, here we go. And it's quite funny as well because Reluctant Gamer, who's also a Geordie, says the first time I need you to win this game. That's interesting then. So Reluctant Gamer, who's a Geordie, and Finley, who's also a Geordie, that to me says the hatred of Sunderland, aka the hatred of the Mackhams, is higher than the hatred of Isak, which is fine. It's just interesting observation. Sunny says, what's the score? 0-0. It should be right under my double chin if you're on TikTok. Snus, I don't mind him being the manager of Liverpool, just win us the game and stop being stubborn. I agree. And I'm hoping the fact that he's at least trying different ideas now, and he's trying different formations, and he's trying different tactics. I'm hoping he's turned over a new leaf, and this is a sign that the stubbornness has hopefully come to an end. Because the weird thing is with Arne Slot, before he was brought in, everyone was saying he's this cutthroat manager. If he doesn't like a player, he'll get rid of them. If he doesn't like Kwanzaa, he'll get rid of him after 45 minutes, which he did. He's not like Klopp. Klopp's all about hugs and kisses, whereas Slot is more blunt and he's stereotypical kind of Dutch, straight to the point. And we were like, okay, great, that's different, but okay, cool. And I guess he was kind of like that in his first year, but in his second year, he's not like that as much. He's playing favourites a bit more. Reluctant Gamer knows Zame, and Zame knows Reluctant Gamer. Stinky Farter says Liverpool is shite. I mean, indeed they are, but hopefully they could do something good today. Keshav's friend's birthday. What's your friend's name? Happy birthday to your friend. Is your friend gonna be called? Is your friend's surname like Dover and his first name is Ben, or is your friend's surname gonna be Miaz, as you said earlier? Yeah, that was that was kind of what they criticized Klopp about, hugs and kisses and all that sort of thing. But it's interesting how mentally different the two managers were. But I feel like in the second year, Slot is a lot less ruthless, which is weird. I'd expect him to be more ruthless. I was gonna ask you about this. By the way, I went a bit. Ooh, is that a goal? Oh no, just wide by Wirtz. By the way, I went a bit wild with the Resident Evil games. Yeah, just there. I was like, has Wirtz just scored? But no, it's just gone. It's just gone wide. Good save by the keeper. I went a bit wild with the Resident Evil games. I got Resident Evil 2. So when you say you went a bit wild, what you mean is, and I quote, you mean you purchased every single Resident Evil game available. That's wild and impressive. You said it was Argos, and when you said it was Argos, I had a look as well. So they had the sale on, didn't they? Resident Evil 2, 3, 4, 7, Biohazard, and Village. I'll play Resident Evil 2 first. Makes sense. Ironically, the order in which you have listed them there is probably the right order in which to play them. 100% make sure that you play Resident Evil 7 Biohazard before Village, because the story of Resident Evil Village carries on from Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. The others, it's not a huge deal if you play them out of order, but because the other three are loosely connected. But yeah, play 7 before Village. Keshav says, can you say happy birthday to Michael, who has a tiny ox? The thing is, I'm familiar with all these names that you're trying to catch me out with, but they're good. They are funny. They are funny. Can we call him Michael Ox Large? Since it's his birthday, we'll call him Ox Large instead of Ox Small. Snus needs a Wirtz assist and an Isak goal. That'd be nice. That would be a perfect. I was gonna say that would be a perfect end to the week, but a perfect midweek. Perfect midweek game if that was to happen. Liverpool have come back into it in the last 10 minutes. They were £15 each. Yeah, I saw on in August. Yeah, you've got quite a few games there to keep you occupied, which is pretty good. So yeah, have you started Resident Evil 2 yet, or are you gonna start it on the weekend? Fish, not fish. Picks a redeemed hydrate. What's hydrate? Is this like so? This isn't someone's name where it's like a derogatory term, like redeemed hydrate. I might be being dumb. You have to tell me what that means. You will get me one day. Keshav will get me one day. James says, I think Slot had pressure from above to play big names. I suspected that. I suspected that. I suspected it could be internal pressure from the internal hierarchy, or it could perhaps be something in Salah's contract, maybe. I don't know. Like how he forced Isak on early in the season, whereas he said Chiesa couldn't play last season for not having a pre-season. This is entirely possible. Just the internal politics of, because Liverpool is it is a business at the end of the day, so there is probably some level of internal politics. And I guess it might also lead into, it could also lead into budgetary discussions as well. Because I guess if whoever holds the budget, if it's John Henry or if it's Michael Edwards, if they see Slot is not playing, if they see Slot is not playing the players that they paid for, they might give less budget next year. You know how like typically in organizations at the end of the year they panic because there's underspend on the budget and they're like, oh my god, there's underspend, we need to spend it. I don't know if it's a footballing equivalent of that, whereby if he does not play the players who were paid a lot of money for, then next year he might not get budget. Keshav says, bro, where are you originally from? I'm from England, UK. How about you? Oh, is it like a Twitch thing? Nice. To be honest, I'm feeling really thirsty. So that is very observant. Verts is very much on the left today, which is interesting. Finley says, can't just be me who is constantly baffled by women when talking to them. It is not just you, and join the club. This is a club which is growing larger by the day. Zaim says, also destroyed Kwanzaa's confidence, which was disappointing as I thought he could become a starter, especially if we transition to more playing defenders instead of Konate. It did feel a bit rash to take him off at halftime. I can understand maybe giving him the game, and then if he didn't have a good game, play Konate the next game. But it did feel a bit rash to take him off at halftime. And that kind of thing, you're right, it can 100% kill your confidence. Because messing up at work is bad enough. But messing up at work when millions of people see it is even worse. That's potentially why he went to Leverkusen. Ooh, header. But it's saved. Potentially why he went to Leverkusen to get his confidence back. Kwanzaa's good. He was a very good ball-playing centre-back. My only concern with him was his lack of pace. I just feel like Liverpool are highly reliant, because they play such a high line, I just feel that Liverpool are highly reliant on very fast defenders. The good thing about Van Dijk's like a combination of, and this is gonna undersell it slightly, but Van Dijk's a bit of a combination of Kwanzaa and Konate. Like he's got Konate's physicality and speed, but he's got Kwanzaa's ball playing ability. Even though he's better than Kwanzaa at the ball, on the ball. But I think you know what I mean. That's what makes Van Dijk special. Stephen was an Oldham Athletic fan. I went to Anfield August 1991. Liverpool won 2-1. Also saw Oldham beat Liverpool 3-2 at Boundary Park in the FA Cup. Nice. What year was the FA Cup game in at Boundary Park? But yeah, sound like some pretty good memories. Baron says he's outside my house. You're not outside my house, because if you were, I would have got a notification that somebody's outside. I have a video doorbell. Ooh, Sunderland hit the bar. Come get the door. I mean, if you're bringing food, I will let you in. Finley says larger by the minute at this rate. Yeah, we might have to start charging membership for this club. I was gonna play Resident Evil 2 tonight, but I wanted to watch this Liverpool game, so I'll play tomorrow in the dark. That's the best way. That is the best way to play Resident Evil 2. Looking forward to 2. I think I will complete 2 and 3, then 7 and 8, and leave 4 last. That could work. The reason that could work is 2 and 3 are very similar from a gameplay perspective, and 7 and Village are very similar from a gameplay perspective. And then you'll come back to 4, which is similar to 2 and 3. So yeah, that could work. I think Resident Evil 4 is the longest story mode. It could be. For some reason, I remember Resident Evil 3 being quite short. But I think 2 is quite long and 4 is quite long. Pixel says it's cold outside. it is pretty cold, to be fair. I can't lie. I mean, I can. Yeah, there's nobody on my driveway at the moment. There's a plant pot. I'm obviously not gonna put it on. There's a plant pot, and there's my rubbish bin. But if you appear, I will let you in. Mr. Default says United 3-0 to the Black Cats. Appreciate the support as always. LH says, where you from, bro? England. How about you? Where it's absolutely freezing. I mean, to be fair, it's not too bad. It does get worse than this. Can't lie, it would have been nice for Liverpool to have a goal right now. What's your reason for supporting Liverpool? It's a interesting story. So when I was 5 years old, I was sitting in class. This is a 100% true story, by the way. So when I was 5 years old, no, when I was in year 2. So how old are you in year 2? 6, 7. So that was an accident. When I was 6 or 7 years old, I was sitting in class, and the older brother of a girl in my class, so not the girl in my class, but the older brother of a girl in my class, said, you should support Liverpool. They're really, really good. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. You should support Liverpool. They're really, really good. And I was like, okay. That's That's the whole story. So this random guy who I don't know if he's dead now, if he's alive, is the entire reason from about a 2-3 minute conversation. Bro's homeboy supported. So you got peer pressured into it. I wouldn't say peer pressured. It was just the guy was like, yeah, this team's pretty good. And I was like, okay, sure. It's a pretty unremarkable story, to be honest with you. I would have liked to have come out with something more profound, more interesting. And I don't recall it ever being like a long conversation. But I do remember it quite distinctly. Zaim says, Maka does not suit playing against his physical midfield and hasn't been great this season. He's had a bizarre season. At the start of the season, he wasn't fit. I remember when I went to there was the Liverpool Atlético Bilbao double header. And I remember I actually went to watch that one. And it was 2 games. So there was a 5 o'clock kickoff and there was an 8 o'clock kickoff. The 5 o'clock kickoff was the kids. The 8 o'clock kickoff was the seniors. What I remember is the first team was the kids, but McAllister as well. So I was thinking, if McAllister's playing with the kids at 5 o'clock, then he must not be fully fit. And since then, I think he's perhaps struggled with his fitness slightly. He did look better versus West Ham. But I guess West Ham is not really a representative test. But yeah, this season, or should I say, in the limited time we've had in this season so far, has potentially been his weakest, I think. Steven says Oldham 3, Liverpool 2 was 3rd round FA Cup 2013. Okay, not too long ago. Suarez played and Gerrard played. Rodgers was the manager. That's pretty nice game to go to, especially getting to see Suarez and Gerrard play in the same team. Liverpool entirely in their own half now. LFC Moose says, we are trash, slot ball is so slow. I do wish it was a bit less lethargic, to be honest with you. I do miss the days of aggressive, heavy metal football. Because at the very least it kept things exciting, but this just feels like slow and kind of hollow. And recently watching this team, I've always felt the opposition. I've always felt the opposition have had more energy. I don't know if they're just pacing themselves or if it's like a preservation thing so that they last the whole season instead of feeling overwhelmed by March. So I don't know if it's a longevity type of thing, but I'm sure we'll find out as the season progresses. Moose says, think players hate the tactics. They want him out. There was a rumor a few days ago, or was it last week? Exactly to those words. That apparently he's upset some of the senior players, and there's a certain contingent of senior players who have lost confidence in him and want him out. I wonder who that is. Would it be fair to guess that maybe one of them is Salah if he's benched? But I have read rumours about that. Yeah, Isabel, this match has been boring. Yeah, nothing much has happened. Liverpool had that one chance with Wirtz that went wide. It's just slow. You know, it's just slow and lethargic. It's like the players are playing in sand or playing in treacle. James says, I can't remember if it was Zidane, but there was a player who used to turn up for their national team but not perform for their club. Oh, so the other way around. I thought you were going to say perform for their club and not the national team. And I was like, yeah, maybe Gerrard. But no, it's the other way. Turn up for the national team but not for the club. McAllister, Bale. Yeah. McAllister does feel a lot more comfortable in the Argentina setup. Bale would be another one. There's probably quite a few. That's a poor pass by Robertson. I don't know why he's complaining. The thing is, the players really have to perform because I appreciate things have not been going well recently, and then they were fairly quiet in the they were fairly quiet in the past few weeks, and then after winning a game, I've noticed they became a bit louder again. So Van Dijk did an interview, Alisson did an interview, and it's like, oh, you really need you are really going to need to back that up now. I think, at the very least. Gakpo's going to cut inside, take a shot. Of course he's going to do that. And of course the defender's going to block it because you do that every single time. You get to the left corner, you cut inside to your right foot and you try and smack it. And surprise, surprise, the defender blocks it because the defender knows exactly what you are going to do. You are more unpredictable than the weather in England. Ooh, Sabazlai with a good shot though. Like the defender knows. The defender knows what you're gonna do. The defender knows you're gonna cut inside. At least Sabazlai is going for a long shot. At least he's trying to trouble the goalkeeper, which is more than I can say for some of this bunch. It's a corner though. I don't expect anything to happen with it. And nothing happens with it. Oh god. Ooh, header by McAllister, just wide. That's better. Gomez has a deceptively good cross on him. Like he's somebody who should not have a good cross. I know that one as well. But Mr. Lou, does Lou have a brother called Tight? Is better than Mo Salah. Keshav is also better than Mo Salah. Princey says we are better at defense today. Yes, better. It's better than what we've seen recently. It looks a bit more assured. Things look a bit more confident. Things look a bit more compact. Less silly mistakes that we've seen recently. So hopefully this will give them a bit of confidence. Fingers crossed. Steven says Leeds 2-0 up against Chelsea. Wow, you are correct. Tanaka in the 43rd minute. Dang. That is a surprise. I would not have predicted that before this game started. I would have had the Chelsea win. Keshav says, all right, man. I've accepted my defeat. To be honest, one of these days, you will catch me out. You will you will mention a name that I don't recognize. But I appreciate the effort. Charlotte says, rank these midfielders for football intelligence. It depends how you qualify football intelligence. They're all pretty they're all pretty intelligent. I was hoping you'd have something in there like Igor Biscan, and then I could put him at the bottom. But I'd say they're all fairly intelligent, or very intelligent, I should say. Crossed by Sunderland, defended by Van Dijk. Don't concede now, because that would be mortifying. And it's half time. Alisson's wearing a elastic band on his head. Like, is the economy that bad that he cannot... Is the economy that bad that he cannot afford like a proper headband? He's wearing an elastic band on his head. Zaim says Thiago Alcantara is higher than all of them. Yeah, in many ways he feels like the one that got away. Like, I was so excited about the signing. Like, even though it's years ago, I feel like I still wanted to see more of him. Like, I know he retired and I know he had his injury concerns. It's one of those things like Thiago playing for Liverpool. You have to like think about it and be like, wait, did that actually happen? And you're like, yeah, of course it did. But it's just one of those things. Sometimes you have to remind yourself that it did actually happen. Keshav says, last question, where are you from? UK, England. How about you? Princey would say Wijnaldum. Yeah, I think what Wijnaldum was a deceptively intelligent player, especially because he used to be a winger / attacking player and then kind of got converted into a more defensive player. I think you need a level of intelligence to be able to do that. So I think I think Wijnaldum would be a good one as well. We nearly won the quad with him. We were so good and unlucky at the end. Yeah, it's so, that season's like such a weird one. After how good the team was in that season, to only come out of that season with an FA Cup and a Carabao Cup kind of puts a bit of a sour ending on it. Like, even if the quadruple didn't happen, it would have been nice with that team to have won one of the big trophies, if it was the Premier League or the Champions League. It would have been nice to have one of the big ones. Especially with how good that team was. Oh, Villa are ahead now. It's pretty wild. Amadou Onana. So Brighton were 2-0 up. Now Villa are probably going to end up winning that. Keshav says, bro, you look little bit of India. I've never been to India before, but I may need to. It's on my list. It's on my list to visit. Sloppy says Liverpool suck. Indeed they do. And if they lose, then they will suck even harder. Charlotte says, do you like marshmallows? They're cool. The thing is, I didn't really eat them much kind of growing up, to be honest. So I've not really had them too often. But to be honest, any type of sweets are good. Sloppy says El America. Is that where you are from? Where are you from? England. How about you? Zaim says, if we won the Premier League, I think we would have won the Champions League with the momentum, confidence. I think that's a fair assessment. I think losing out on one of them mentally affected the team, and then mentally made them lose belief in the Champions League as well. Yeah, I'd agree with that. That momentum would 100% carry on. Sloppy says, you like Lucky Charms. I've never had Lucky Charms. I've seen it in the store. I've seen it on the shelf. I've never brought it though. Is it good? I think it's got marshmallows in it, which goes back to what Charlotte was saying, but I've never had it. I feel like it's one of those things where if I brought it once, I would then buy it every single week. So I have no self-control when it comes to sugar. Yeah, I've heard that it's like a life-changing experience, and they're really good. Like we have it in the UK. When I went to America earlier in the year, they naturally I saw it in the shops over there as well. Maybe it's one of those things that I just need to try once. But yeah, it's definitely a bigger thing across the pond. Barbecue is going to bed. Good night. Take care. Charlotte says, "What's your favorite summer activity?" Can't lie, not a huge summer person. I'm more of a winter, more of a winter type of guy. So in the winter, I do lots of traveling. This winter, I've been to Canada. I've been to Netherlands. So I went to Canada 2 months ago, Netherlands a few weeks ago, going to Italy in 2 weeks, and then going to Japan the month after that. So in the winter, I love traveling. In the summer, I just feel hot and I just don't feel good in the summer. So in the summer, I just like sitting next to my air conditioner. To be honest with you, I'm more of a winter guy. Sloppy says, you like barbecue, like brisket ribs? Yeah, but barbecue's good. Can't go wrong with a good barbecue. Steve says, what have I seen? To be honest, not much. Not much, if I'm honest with you. Awful half. Slow, lacking desire, scared and risk averse. Indeed. The risk averse point might be a very good one, in the sense that they're just far too scared to take a chance. They're playing like scared little kids, to be honest with you. I just want somebody just to show a bit of initiative and show a bit of courage and just take a chance. It's just too slow, too plodding, as they say, too boring, to be honest with you. I just want to see a bit of energy injected into this team, but I just feel like we say the same thing. We say the same thing week in, week out. It's this obsession with kind of possession-based football that this manager has, which in many ways is the antithesis of the previous manager, who was less possession-based. But I feel like there needs to be some sort of middle ground, because this is slow as hell. Sloppy says, set me up with Charlotte, Brody. I'll try my best. Jeffrey says, "How's it, guys? Just got home from work. I mean, yeah, I'm doing good. How are you? How's things with you? In terms of the Liverpool match, it's been boring, to be honest with you. No, nothing much has happened. It's been very slow, pretty boring, to be honest. Like if you drove home from work right now and you had some nice music on in the car, then you probably had more fun in the last 45 minutes than we have, because literally nothing has happened in this game. Nothing. Tyree says, "Do you think Liverpool can still win?" They can still win. 100%. They can still win. I just want to see a bit more enthusiasm, if that makes sense. It's just very slow. It's just very slow and boring. And I'll stop the timer in a bit. Evan says, "Bad half needs to change something." What change would you do? Would you change the player, or would you maybe change the tactics? Not enough movement is a big one, as Zaim says. It's like you've got defenders, you've got midfielders, and you've got strikers, but the defenders just kind of stay as a straight line, and it's like the midfielders also kind of stay in the straight line. No one's making the run forward, no one's running into space. It's just lethargic, and like everyone is just staying in the same position. It's bizarre. Can't believe I'm saying this, but Kirkes' overlaps could help unblock that low block. Yeah, Zaim is more of a Robertson guy in general, but it's a fair point. Kirkes running forward can make a difference, because to be honest with you, right now nobody's running forward. If I'm honest, it's like Sunderland have all their men behind the ball, and Liverpool also have all their men behind the ball. So we're sitting here wondering what on earth is going on. Kirkes can be a difference maker given how defensive Sunderland are being. Jeffrey says, "Very boring. I was watching on my phone." Yeah, absolutely nothing has happened. Liverpool just looked too scared to take any sort of risk, and it's kind of irritating, to be honest. Tyru says, "True, but they need to win this game." Yeah, no excuses, especially because they lost all those games in the row, and then they won one game, and then after winning one game, they then decided to talk smack. So we need something a bit better. Daisy says, "Hi from AB. I wonder who that is." I think I know who that is. Sloppy says, "I'll get you a Chicharito jersey for a Nino Torres Liverpool journey." I mean, I do have a Nino Torres Liverpool jersey, but I'm not sure I want a Chicharito one. Didn't Chicharito play for Man United back in the day? Jeffrey says, "Luckily I have a joint." Yeah, I think you might have to pass one to everybody just to survive the next half. They're even showing the highlights at half time, and to be honest, absolutely nothing has happened. I mean, Wirtz is running around everywhere, but he needs support. He can't just run around by himself, and then Liverpool can't expect something to happen if he just runs around by himself. He needs to be supported. Dylan says, "I'm not watching the game. How are Liverpool playing?" Think about the worst thing that's ever happened to you in your life, and times that by 100. That's how Liverpool are playing. Honestly, it's been boring as hell. I'm kind of jealous that you're not watching. Thank you very much, Joe. Appreciate that. Enjoy the roses. I know times are hard watching Liverpool. Yeah. I've had to start dyeing my hair. I can't lie. That's probably why my beard looks extra dark today. It's not normally this dark. I've had to start dyeing it because of this The stress of watching this bunch of clowns on the pitch. Yeah, he was at West Ham, wasn't he, back in the day? Ooh, Salah might be coming on, which is interesting, which is a bold call. I mean, of all the things this game needs, does it need Salah? And who is he going to be coming on for? Ooh, he might be coming on for Gakpo, which might which would be a positive change. Jeffrey says, no man, somebody needs to lecture Slot on the formations. The trouble is, like, I agree with you. I agree with you. I just feel like he's been so stubborn. He's been stubborn week after week after week after week after week. I agree that he needs to be lectured on the formations. I just feel like right now he's too stubborn to change his system, even though his system isn't working, if you know what I mean. But yeah, Salah's on the pitch, I presume for Gakpo. Sloppy says, let me see the Nino Torres jersey. It's downstairs. I have to walk downstairs to go get it. Muazzam says, it's dark for us. We're losing 2-0 to Leeds. Yeah, you're Chelsea fan. Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise, I can't lie. Like the 1-0 was a surprise and the 2-0 is a massive surprise. Do you reckon you'll come back in the second half? Joe says all your grades will be coming out. Yeah, you are correct. It's costing me a fortune in hair dye. But the good thing is I stocked up during Black Friday. Oh, Black Friday, quite ironic. But yeah, Salah's on the pitch now. Zaim says, have you heard that many people have theorized we may move to a 3-5-2 system? I have heard that. But do you feel like it's adding to... Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'll fix that in a bit. Do you feel like it's adding 2 and 2 together and getting 6? Like it's something different, but to play 3-5-2, I feel like Liverpool would need a lot more centre backs. And right now, like right now, they literally only have Konate, Van Dijk, and Gomez. I feel like you need at least some centre back cover to maybe play that system. So that's the concern I'd have, number one, in the sense that they don't have enough centre backs to play that formation. And another concern I'd have is how would they fit all the attacking players into the team? Liverpool just don't strike me as a three at the back type of team. But you never know. Rob says Salah got his contract, now he's not bothered. Yeah, it's the... you could be right. It feels a bit like the Marcus Rashford situation. Van Dijk be off to Saudi at the end of the season, says Rob. What I think will happen, I think Salah will be off at the end of the season. I think Van Dijk will stay one more season. Rob says, get Ivan Toney in a swap for Salah. Apparently Toney wants to come back. The thing is with Toney, he's a very good forward, very good finisher. The only concern I'd have is his best position is Isak's position. And when Isak is not available, they have Ekitike to cover that. So for me, if Salah was to go, I'd want another wide player. Unless Liverpool played the 3-5-2 that Zayn was referring to. But yeah, I'd probably want another wide player. Oh my god, 4-3. This Villa Brighton game is wild. So it was 2-0 to Brighton. Then it was 2-2. Then it was 4-2, I think, and now Brighton are coming back. This is my luck, and this is what happens every single time. I always end up watching the game that has 0 goals. And every other game has so many goals. I mean, look at all the other games. Arsenal 2-0, Villa 4-3, Palace 1-0, Forest 1-0, Leeds 2-0. And yeah, we always end up watching the game that's got no goals going on. It's pretty wild. But yeah, let me fix the timer. I couldn't be bothered to stop it at half time. Rob says, "Oh, Mateta from Palace." I think Mateta's amazing, to be honest. He's massive. He's strong. He's very good, but technically he's also very good. And he's Premier League proven, and he gets goals. I would love Mateta. The only concern I'd have, now that Palace are kind of becoming I wouldn't say a big team, but now that they're kind of getting a bit of weight behind them, would that make Mateta exceedingly expensive? That's probably one question I'd have. And the second question I'd have is how they'd fit him into a team with Ekitike and Isak. But if you just consider him in isolation, I think he's very good. Jeffrey says he's adamant to use this setup to win, but he's losing the race. Change the tactics slot. I agree. Like it's fine having tactics. It's fine having a way of playing. But if that doesn't work, change things up. He played the tactics against Man City. He lost 3-0. He then did the same thing against Nottingham Forest. He lost 3-0. He then did the same thing against PSV. Lost 4-1. Did the same thing against Galatasaray a few weeks before that. Lost again. The stubbornness is irritating me. Like, losing is fine, like, to a certain degree. But if you at least change things and then continue to lose, it's like, okay, at least the guy's trying something. At least he's trying something, and hopefully eventually he figures it out. But it's the fact that he doesn't change things that irritates me. Pyro's shocked we're not using Chiesa more. I don't know. I agree with you 100%. Because the thing is with Chiesa, whenever he comes on the pitch, number one, he tries. Number two, he actually puts effort in. And number three, he seems to make a difference. He gets a goal. He gets an assist. He's full of enthusiasm. I'd be so annoyed if I was Chiesa, because it's like, what am I supposed to do in the last 2 minutes, in the last 5 minutes? This club just has not done right by Chiesa. Zaim says, I agree. I don't think we'll play 3-5-2 because of the centre back depth. Yeah. Zaim's explained it better in one sentence. I was going on for like 5 minutes, and I was like, I don't think we've got enough defenders because we've got Kanate, and I just don't think. And yeah, Zaim's basically explained it better in one sentence. Centre back depth. That's what I meant. And striker depth, using both our strikers at once, especially with Isak's fitness record. Yeah, the 3-5-2 discussions, they just strike me as it's something different. So it's like, okay, if it's not white, therefore it's black. It's like they've just picked the opposite end of the scale. If it's not red, therefore it must be green. It's just this. I don't know. It's just deliberately picking the opposite. I think it's going too far in the other direction, I think. And 3-5-2 as well. It feels like a very specialist formation that can only really come from specific coaches who have drilled that formation, like Conte and so forth. We have to remember as well that Slot was hired very much so because his football and his formations was very similar to Klopp's. The reason why Liverpool, or should I say part of the reason why Liverpool rejected Amorim, was because of the three at the back. So it'd be very ironic for Liverpool to now play three at the back if that was one of their main reasons for rejecting Amorim, because they didn't want to turn up the entire squad and buy another bunch of defenders. Stephen says, what is your all-time favorite Liverpool away shirt? I think this year's away shirt is quite nice. The Ecru one is pretty good. I might need a reminder though of all the Liverpool away shirts. Let me see if I can bring it up. Okay, this picture is slightly out of date. That Carlsberg one with the gold and the black, that's quite nice. The only thing that irritated me was that the logo was on the side. Oh, sorry. The only thing that irritated me was that the Adidas logo was in the middle of that one. That one's not bad. That one's quite nice as well. I'd be tempted to maybe go for one of the old ones. I think that one in the top right. I think I have that shirt. I'd be tempted to go for that one. This picture's a bit newer. Oh, that's home kits. Yeah, I'd be tempted to go for that top right one. Simple and effective. Okay, says third down first. You like this one? The green and the white. Apparently, that's rumored to form the basis of the away kit for next year. But we shall have to wait and see. I can't get over Salah is actually pressing. Yeah, it's wonderful what dropping somebody from a team can do. Because he hasn't been pressing and he hasn't been running much at all, and then he gets dropped from the starting lineup, and then suddenly he finds his energy levels again. So if being dropped from the team, was what was needed to give Salah a kick up the backside, then maybe it was the right thing. Pyro says, what annoys me is not telling Gakpo to vary up his attacks. Yeah, I was literally moaning about this a few minutes ago, because whenever Gakpo gets the ball on the edge of the box, he's gonna cut inside on his right foot and he's gonna smack it. And it's irritating because the defenders, each and every time, they know exactly what he's gonna do, and it just makes things so predictable. He's gonna cut inside. He's gonna smack it. Kamaru Usman, Kobe Covington, or Gilbert Burns? Usman, 100%. I'll put Gilbert Burns number 2. That was a D move by Joe there. I'm concerned about this. Concerned about the free kick, but thankfully it's gone over. H says, third row full green kit when I started supporting Liverpool. As in the second to last one. Yeah, that was quite a nice one as well. I think I owned this kit. The Ecru one. The Ecru one with the red circle. I think I had that when I was a kid. Pyro says, I wish Diaz had stayed. He was a live wire. I think that first point is really important, because the thing is with Diaz, at the very least he was unpredictable. Which, to be fair, I think you described as a live wire, but yeah, he was very unpredictable because you never knew what he was going to do. Was he going to go wide? Was he going to cut inside? Was he going to take the fullback on? is he gonna do a flying karate kick? Like you never knew what he was gonna do, which made it so much more difficult for a defender to defend against him, because the defender never knew what he was gonna do. He was so unpredictable. Corner, that should have been a goal. I want us to figure out what works for the team before adding more players. I think that's also a very important point, because I've seen there's rumors, or certainly there were rumors a few weeks ago about Semenyo joining. And the thing is, Semenyo is a good player, but I'm not even slightly enthused about that, because I just feel like, what difference is adding one more player to this gonna change? As Pyro has said, we need to kind of figure out the system and figure out how we want to play, and then buy players based on that logic. So Bosley hits it over. Right now, it just feels like a collection of players. It just feels like a random collection of chess pieces just on the board. There's no cohesive style of play. Reluctant Gamer says, "Have you watched Terrified?" I have not. Is this the clown with the black and white face paint? I have not seen that, but I need to watch that. The last thing I watched was Begonia. It's the horror movie. It's a horror movie called Begonia. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, this is this is the last movie I watched. I watched this a few days ago. So, two conspiracy-obsessed young men kidnap the high-powered CEO of a major company, convinced that she is an alien, intent on destroying the planet Earth. So that's the last movie I watched. I wouldn't call it a horror movie. It was more of a kind of suspensey, you can also argue comedy type of movie. But yeah, that's the last thing I watched. I would recommend that. But no, I've not seen The Terrifier. My first was The Cream on the third row. Is it this one? The one with the circular, the one with the circular logo? Because I think that was my first shirt as well, to be honest with you. This one. I remember having this. We might have had the same one. Zaim says, "Why have we only found out this season that Salah can take good corners?" I mean, it is a good question. I would rather have Salah on corners than someone like Gakpo. I just feel like having Gakpo on corners is wasted, because he's massive. He's 6'4". I'd want him in the box. And therefore, by having Gakpo in the box, who's massive, Gakpo's the same height as Van Dijk. I don't know if people realize this, but by having Gakpo, for God's sake, Sunderland just hit the post. That's too close. That's too close for comfort. Sunderland had a corner. Their player was completely unmarked and hit the post. But yeah, I'd rather Salah take corners, because then you get Gakpo in the box, who's massive. That's a fair point. We had Trent on them with Robbo. Yeah, I guess that's a fair point. Thinking about it now, they had a combination that worked, and then they stuck to that. Yeah, the clown horror movie. I heard 2 and 3 are the best ones to watch. I will need to check those out. I've not seen a proper horror movie for maybe a few weeks, so if I mean, naturally I'd probably start with the first one and then go from there. Chelsea got one back. Pedro Neto. What is it with Konate this season, bro? I suspected it's because he was going to Madrid, and therefore His mind was in Madrid. Like, when you hand your notice in at work and therefore you don't really care anymore because you got a new job. I thought it was a case of that. But apparently Real Madrid don't want him either. So I think now he just might be mentally kind of stuck because he might not have a club next year. I mean, naturally, of course he will, but right now he's just in a state of limbo, I guess, because he thought he was going to Madrid, but it seems like Madrid don't want him. Matt says, who's been the better team so far? Pretty even, but Sunderland might have had the best chance. They just hit the post. I think they've hit the post twice. I think they've hit the bar on the post from what I recall. Zane says, Robbo wasn't that good. Robbo did have a tendency to hit the first man. I think Robertson's crossing was better, like, not from a dead ball situation. So, like, running onto the ball, like, not from a corner, but, like, he's still on the pitch. Running onto a ball and putting a cross in that way. From a dead ball situation, I think you're right. Quite often he used to hit the first man, which you've triggered a memory in my brain, but that used to be quite annoying. Pyro, can't wait to see Gomez benched for Bradley. I want to see Frimpong, I can't lie. I'm quite excited to see Frimpong back. But apparently Frimpong and Bradley are going to be back at similar times. And yeah, when both of those are back, I don't think you'll see Gomez. So yeah, it should be within the next two weeks. Blue Baron says Liverpool are absolutely terrible. They are absolutely terrible and very lucky champions last season. There's no such thing as lucky champions, to be honest. You can't be lucky over 38 games. You can be lucky in a cup competition, because a cup competition you are highly dependent on the draw that you get. But in a league competition, whether it's Liverpool, whether it's City, whether it's Arsenal, whether it's Man United, you can't really be lucky over 38 games when you play everyone twice. But in the Champions League you can. Isabel says, fair. Yam says, thoughts on Marino? He's on my fantasy team. So, Guerin, Mikel. I thought I was being clever putting him in my fantasy team because he's down as a midfielder, but he seems to play up front and get quite a few goals. Pyro says, don't agree, we were very good last season. Yeah. I think what people also forget is Liverpool finished top of the Champions League group as well. So it wasn't just a case of they were just good in the league. In the group stage of the Champions League, they also finished top. And then they only went out to PSG, who were the champions. So I think you also need to consider that. Thirdly, Man United and Spurs finished 16th, 17th last year, and they were the final of the Europa League. So it wouldn't really make sense that the Premier League is of a poor quality if your 16th and 17th place teams are in a European final. Liverpool was just legitimately good last season, and it's fine to say that. I mean, it's gone now. The season's gone. Nobody cares. It's a past season now. From what by all extensions. But yeah, they were good. And the season before that, City were good. It's just what happens. I think we can very easily just start making up our own realities to feel better about facts. But facts do not lie. Gomez is off now, thank the Lord. Is that Jones that's on? Jones that's on for... What's his name? Van Dijk passes it right back to Sunderland. Oh, Jesus effing Christ. It's like, what? Why come out? Why come out in public and saying, "Yeah, bro, we're back, bro. My name's Van Dijk, bro." I swear Van Dijk just passed it straight to the Sunderland player. See, this is the problem, yeah? This is the problem. They lose like 1,000 games in a row. They lose to Man City, lose to Forest, lose to PSV. They win one game against West Ham. And by the way, the whole time they're losing, they're saying nothing. They're not doing no interviews. They're saying nothing in public. Then they beat West Ham, and suddenly Alisson feels like a big shot. I'm gonna do an interview. You need to support the team. And Van Dijk also feels like a big shot. Like now you come out of your holes after one win. Are you gonna go back into your holes now and not do any more interviews? It's like if you're gonna talk the talk, at least then walk the walk. That's completely Van Dijk's fault. That is awful. It's just like I don't know if sanctimonious is the right description, but you know, sometimes when like Van Dijk does these interviews, they feel, I can't lie, they feel a tad patronizing at times. And it's like, dude, if you're gonna be patronizing, don't pass the ball to the other team. Grace says, "How are you?" Yeah, not bad, to be honest. Annoyed we've conceded, but not bad. How's things with you? Portuguese Azul says, "Sunderland goal, WTF." It's unfortunately the story of this team recently. Pyro says, "No way, we're down 1-0. It's what's worst about that as well. I was worried. I mean, Sabazai looks like he just fouled someone in the box, but I don't know. What's worst about that is that it was preventable. Reluctant Gamer says Sunderland 1-0. Even Finley saying, can you please score against the Macums. Grace says, "No, I just joined as they score." Yeah, you must be bad luck. Blue Baron says, "Arsenal does things with class, builds a world-class squad over seasons. Liverpool has spent $500 million and are terrible. But Arsenal haven't won anything." So the argument doesn't make any sort of sense. Arsenal haven't won anything for 20 years. Liverpool have a Premier League. So the argument, like, legitimately, even if I was unbiased, goes completely out the window. The other way you can think of it is Arsenal have spent £1 billion to win absolutely nothing. Liverpool last season spent nothing to win a trophy. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, Van Dijk deflection. Pyro says, "You haven't won the league in 21 years." Yeah, I don't understand the. It's not even confidence. It's just delusion. It's just pure delusion from Arsenal fans. It's like, you've won nothing, and like, the thing is, for most of them, they've won nothing. Like, as long as you've been born, like, you've not seen your team win a single trophy. And here's the thing: when Arsenal fail to win a trophy again at the end of the season, because if Liverpool don't win it, it's going to be City. When Arsenal fail to win a trophy again, you then can't complain that, oh, get the Cronkies out, get Arteta out. You've got nothing to complain about because Arsenal are building a world-class squad. So it doesn't make sense. So then you say one thing at the start of the year and then something completely different at the end of the year. Yeah, they will. To be honest, they'll probably crumble before April. They'll crumble around January time. Sunderland definitely gonna. To be honest, Newcastle, I think at least have a bit of fight in them. with Newcastle, like you don't know what you're gonna get. You might have a good team, you might have a bad team. But the thing is with Liverpool, oh for God's sake, Van Dijk's just completely missed the ball. With Liverpool, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have a bad performance. This is at home as well. let's not forget that this is also at home. Jalil says same old nonsense. Yeah, same old. James says Van Dijk never really felt like a captain to me when compared to Hendo or Gerrard. He is very Dutch, straightforward and unemotive. I think unemotive is a good word. I think he could show more leadership skills this season. Yeah, to me, like what kind of irritates me is he's vocal. He's vocal, but he acts sometimes I just get a vibe that he acts a bit like when things are not going well. I don't want to say he acts like a child because that's the wrong word, but he comes across a bit spoiled sometimes, and in interviews sometimes he just the way he reacts when things are not going well, sometimes it feels a bit entitled. Ekatike is on for McAllister. Ekatike coming on. Weird seeing Sunderland. Yeah, it is to be fair. I keep thinking it's Brighton. Like in my head, I keep thinking it's Brighton, but it's Sunderland. Records being broken at Anfield again. Yeah, just not the kind of records they want to break. So what are people saying about this manager then? That is the question. Is it still too early to form a definitive conclusion? Because apparently the rumors were, and you never truly know how accurate rumors are because it's all just conjecture in the paper. But apparently the rumors were he had to win the West Ham game and he had to win the Sunderland game. Like those were the rumors. Oh, give me a sec. So we'll see how accurate those rumors were. Have you played that cat game called Stray? I have not. I do like cats. Like I follow some cats on Instagram. Like cats are cool, but I've never played that game. No, have you played that game? Apparently, like the cat mannerisms and all of that is apparently like very good. To the point where like real life cats. To the points where real life cats are watching the game. And they think it's like a real cat that they're seeing on screen. So they're like following it around, like, what's going on? What's going on? Pretty good. Blue Baron says Arsenal are definitely the best team in the world. There's no question. I'm not being smug, just facts. The trouble is when you say just facts at the end, it then takes away from the argument. I'd say to be the best team in the world, you need to win something. You can't be the best team in the world if you don't have a Premier League, and Spurs also have more European heritage than you. Spurs, because it's Spurs. You can't let Spurs have more European trophies than you. Last year, the best team in the world was PSG. This year, it's probably too soon to see. It's probably too soon to say. Let's go back to talking about Chinese food again. I'm sick of seeing Sunderland's success. The thing is, I didn't get Chinese food last week. I ended up getting a kebab, and then I ended up getting pizza. But yeah, if we talk about Chinese, apparently there's a really nice Chinese place near where I live, and I've just never been there. So I might have to try that out. Only buzz I get from this is seeing Slot suffer, as he always says, Newcastle small club. Did he say that? That's a bit harsh. Because Newcastle are not a small club. Newcastle are a massive club with a massive fan base and also a massive stadium. And also a lot of history. So even I wouldn't say Newcastle are a small club. That just feels straight up disrespectful and untrue. To be honest, it's not true. Leeds beating Chelsea 3-1. Blue Barons. I used to be a dog person, but as I've got older, I've become a cat person. Fair enough. Was there like a specific breed of dog that you liked when you were younger, like border collies, or what other breeds of dog do I know? Golden retrievers, or was it like generally just a dog thing? But yeah, I'd say I've always been more of a cat person. You won't say this year because you know it's Arsenal. To be honest, it's nobody right now because it's December. But if Arsenal have the season that PSG had last season, or if anybody has that season, then you'd have to say yes, I think. Alfie says we are awful. As Alfie says that, Sabozlai just put a cross into into the crowd. Yeah, I'm surprised Leeds are doing so well. 3-1. Calvert-Lewin as well. So Liverpool are going to get battered next Liverpool are going to get battered next game as well, which is great. Which is fantastic. I'm glad I'm going on holiday in 2 weeks. I'm not gonna be here for the Spurs game, thankfully. I should be a fair distance away. This year, Arsenal are doing the best only because they beat Bayern. To be fair, yeah, the Bayern result was a good one, who I thought were number one. But with Arsenal, when they played top Premier League teams, they drop points. True. I think, to be fair, it's one of those things that you can only really conclude towards the end of the season. I used to have a boxer, lovely dog, but it was very thick. Nice but dim, but by the sounds of it. Our attack is turgid. Yeah, attack is turgid. Midfield is turgid, and defense is asleep. I would be worried for the manager at this point. But the thing is, like, getting rid of a manager is only half the equation. Oh, Jesus Christ. Is only half the equation. It's also who you bring in to replace him. Reluctant Gamer says dogs are more cooler, but I don't want a dog. They make a mess and bark too much. Yeah, they're more to look after as well. And for me, because I'm away from home a fair bit, it would unfortunately not work. Like I've thought about getting a cat, but it's like I'm not home a fair bit, as as you know, so it'd make that a bit difficult. Reluctant Gamer says, enjoy Japan. That's one of my dream places. I shall do. I had the day off work today, and Wirtz has scored with a nice little, not a dummy, but he kind of shimmied it from his left foot onto his right and then smacked it. Let's go. Nice little goal, to be fair. That was a good goal. That was the way he found space out of nowhere and then got it onto his right foot. Yeah, like that's like genuinely like okay. It took a bit of a deflection. It took a bit of a deflection, to be fair, but that's a nice goal, considering he beat a few players. Recton Gamer says 1-1. Vert's goal. Zame trying to get as many W's into the sentence as possible. You may have a future career as like a newspaper headline writer. Says, wow, Verts is wizardry. Oh my, every sentence is with a W. Every word, sorry, is with a W. That's impressive alliteration. I'm super happy you scored. I can't be asked with their fans. Finley says, first time I celebrated a Liverpool goal. Thank God you have scored. For the badge says, that's a good goal. I can't lie. Yeah, it's a nice. It was really nice how he kind of found space out of nowhere, and to keep the composure, not to panic. It's pretty impressive. For the badge says he just needs time to adjust to the league. Yeah, I think that was always the case. And also, just to put on a bit of muscle, he apparently he's put on 2.5 kg of muscle since he's arrived, which is good, because that's what kind of Liverpool's fancy training complex is all about. The physical side of players. Blue Baron says, where are you going on holiday? In about 2 weeks, I'm going to Italy, and then in February, I'm going to Japan, which I was sorting out today. But yeah, looking forward to it. I go on holiday a lot during the winter months because I like things when they're colder, but I don't go on holiday in the summer because I don't like hot weather. So I'm the opposite of most people. Liverpool problem is their core squad of players getting older, and obviously the players they brought in haven't worked so far. Yeah, I guess in many ways it's how they transition from the old to the new. I guess they need to work out that transition. Great composure, Vert. Isaac needs to score now. That would be the icing on the cake. Like 1-1 is nice, but I feel like 1-1 is still not good enough. They need to win this game. Zame's W sounds like Liverpool might get the W. What Resident Evil games are best in my purchase? In what order? I'd say Resident Evil 2, then 3, then Biohazard, then Resident Evil Village, then Resident Evil 4. I'll be honest. The thing is, a lot of people love Resident Evil 4. I wasn't feeling it. I'd go 2, 3, 7, Village, 4. Blue Baron says, "Oh my God, Japan sounds amazing." Yeah, it should be. I'm a bit nervous. I can't lie. I'm a bit nervous. Like I went to Canada last month. I wasn't really nervous. I went to New York February time. I wasn't really I was a bit nervous. But Japan, I'm super nervous. I think because they don't speak English. Whereas in Canada, they speak English. So yeah, I'm a bit nervous. But it'll be fine. I'm the same. I struggle in the heat, yeah. Especially like houses in the UK. They're just designed to keep the heat inside, so you just end up boiling. 1-1 is not good enough. I agree. Basically, the way you rank it is literally that's the order I'm going to play them in. Yeah, well, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense to be fair. 2, 3, 7, Village, and then Resident Evil 4. Don't lie that they're gonna. Don't lie that they are gonna mark that as an own goal. That's completely unfair. Blue Baron says, "What about Resident Evil 1? That was brilliant. It was very good. Resident Evil 7 is a remake of Resident Evil 1, ish kinda. It's not a true remake, but it's a remake of sorts. So yeah, the closest thing to Resident Evil 1 would be Resident Evil 7, like if you wanted to play it with a new engine. But yeah, Resident Evil 1 is what started it. Reluctant Gamer says, "Are you not interested in the Nintendo World Park that they have?" I'll look into it, but I think I researched it, and it's like a theme park, and I'm not much of a theme park type of guy. A Highland Cow says Newcastle are the best. Well, you will get on well with Reluctant Gamer, who is also a Newcastle fan. Reluctant Gamer says, "I think don't be nervous. Japan, I think China and Japan are friendly. I speak to them a lot. I never come across a negative one. So wholesome. That's reassuring. That's reassuring." I'd say what maybe makes me a bit nervous is that I don't know how far I can get with just English. But I think it'll be fine because I've had a look and like all the signs are in English and I got my phone. I think it will be okay. It's just one of those things like before you fly you're nervous, but once you're on the plane then you feel perfectly fine. I think it's just one of those things. Seven Enthusiast says they've given it as an own goal. That's a travesty. Liverpool now hammering the Sunderland goal, trying to get a winner. Reluctant Gamer says, "I wish Newcastle are the best in the world." Dean says Liverpool still not recovered from the Jota loss. It could be a reason. It could be a reason. I guess it's tough to kind of say how people deal with these situations, and I guess everyone deals with things differently. Mitchell says, "What do you think about Wirtz this season?" I think he's getting better. I think maybe the physicality of the league was perhaps a bit of a shock when he first arrived, but he seems to be getting better. I think he had a very good game versus West Ham, and he should have had the goal today, but they've given it as an own goal. I think he's slowly finding his feet in the league. Liverpool asking for a penalty, but I'm not sure that's a penalty, to be honest with you. Grace says, "Yay, we scored! Yeah, you were not bad luck after all, because Liverpool conceded after you arrived. So thankfully that was not it. Corner, Van Dijk. Oh, that should have been a goal. That should have been a goal from a Van Dijk header, but Kirkes blocked it, I think." Mitchell says, "What's your opinion on Liverpool's best player this season?" To be honest with you, it's tough to qualify anybody as the best player. I'd be leaning towards Szoboszlai. He's gotten a couple of goals. He's played multiple positions. He gets back to defend. Never seems to be out of energy. Yeah, Kirkes did block that. So I'd be leaning towards Szoboszlai so far. But it's still early days. That might change. How about you? They're just showing that replay time and again. Van Dijk's header should have gone in, but Kirk has accidentally blocked it. Salah adding the pressure. 7 added minutes. Yeah, six minutes left to maybe get something. But they are adding the pressure on. Sunderland trying to slow things down, which you can understand, to be fair. Jalil hopes we get a winner. Me too. We drew with Sunderland. They're not a bad side. Yeah, they're quite high. They're quite high up there in the league. So they're certainly having a good start to the season. Mitchell says, "I agree. He's been solid. Yeah, I think he's been quite good." Gravenberch is up there for me too. Gravenberch was my player of last season. I remember we were talking about this in the summer, and like a lot of people were saying, who's the best player? Who's the player of the season? Is it Salah? Is it Gravenberch? Gravenberch was probably my player of last season. But yeah, I'd certainly say midfield-wise, I think Szoboszlai and Gravenberch have probably been better than McAllister so far. But there's a long way to go. Blue Baron says, "Do you think a new manager would slot in well?" Yeah, interesting use of wording. Depends who it is. Depends who it is. If the new manager is also called Slot, then I'm sure he would slot in very well. Mitchell says, "The Premier League has been so fun to watch this season. The tables are so unpredictable." I agree with that. And the kind of rankings or the placements are so close. One win can send you up the table by about 6 places, or one loss can send you down the table about 7 places. It's interesting how close the table actually is in terms of, say, the points difference between 3rd and 9th. Oh my God! Why do Sunderland have a player up top? Defended off the line by Chiesa, but how do you even allow that to happen? How does that even happen? This team needs to wake up. Mariana says Leeds 3-1 Chelsea. I can't believe Leeds are going to win that. That's a shocker. I think if there was no Isak, Ekitike would be the best player. I could see him with 2-3 more goals easy. Ekitike has had a very, very good start to the season. I think he's been a good purchase. Boca Juniors versus River Plate. Are they playing today? Sunderland nearly scored. Like, how did that situation even happen? And you gotta respect Chiesa for running back there. That is insane. That is like Chiesa saves the day, but that as a situation should never happen. Like, where's the leadership? Where's the organization? Like, Liverpool had no players back, and Sunderland had a striker up front. So Sunderland's goalkeeper just boots it up to the striker, and there's nobody near him. Striker has a 1-on-1, and Chiesa clears it off the line. Leeds beating Chelsea 3-1. What a chance. I almost had a heart attack because that came out of nowhere. Yeah, out of absolutely nowhere. Like, it's just Liverpool attack, and suddenly you close your eyes and there's a Sunderland player with a 1-on-1. Chiesa for the back. Yeah, Trent would be walking back. Trent would be dreaming about the Ballon d'Or that he said he was going to win this year. How's it going, Rebecca? Hope you are good. Hope you're not having a heart attack like me every 2 seconds from watching this team. I wish Newcastle had Chiesa. Should have traded him for Isak and some money. The weird thing is with Chiesa, whenever they give him a chance, he does well. Like, he cleared the ball off the line there. Surely you can argue clearing the ball off the line is as good as getting a goal. I think that's as good as getting a goal. But he's always effective whenever he's given a chance. I don't know why he doesn't get more time. Could be a wages thing. It could be Liverpool just stubbornly keeping him, which is one thing. Like, you stubbornly keep him, but then you don't let anybody else have him. Blue Baron says Liverpool should give Brendan Rodgers another chance. Let me put it this way: you support Arsenal, and I would rather you were the manager over Brendan Rodgers. I would rather Blue Baron manage Liverpool than Brendan Rodgers. And even if you relegate Liverpool, at least you can say you did it deliberately. Whereas Brendan Rodgers would try to win, but would still relegate Liverpool. Yeah, 66. Rebecca's saying I'm not doing good. Yeah, me neither. My heart rate is very elevated from this game. Chiesa nearly got back against Newcastle in the final. He got on late and made a massive difference. Got a goal. Yeah, he contributes. He always contributes, which makes it all the more bemusing that he's never given a chance, never given an opportunity. I kind of feel bad for the poor guy. Rebecca's doing fine. That's good to hear. How are you? Not bad. I can't lie. This match could have been better, but other than that, not too bad. Rebecca's a Everton fan. Good win for you yesterday. I think it was a Grealish. Was it a Grealish goal? Away from home, I think, yesterday, or maybe a few days ago, which is a pretty good win. PS3 says, hello, you look like Shah Rukh Khan. Hello, PS3, you look like Solid Snake. Or is that Naked Snake? That's Naked Snake, isn't it? From Metal Gear Solid 3. No, that's Big Boss. Is it Big Boss? Big Boss is the one in Metal Gear Solid 3, right? Who that is? Yeah, Grealish goal, which was a good win. I'm in if we lose to Leeds, Gerard. Oh, please no, Gerard. Please no, Gerard. I'd rather have Blue Baron. Then Nagelsmann. To me, like I'm having serious doubts as to whether he can turn this around now. It would depend who else is available. T says we should have lost and won that. Absolute abomination indeed. What is not an abomination is how you used to get free Chinese food, because I'm quite jealous of that. But I hope you're good. He looks nothing like Shah Rukh Khan. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. To be fair, John Flanagan was decent that one season, to be fair. It's only afterwards he went a bit rubbish. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3, Solid Snake, in PS3's picture. Is that why you're called PS3 to 2008? Because Metal Gear Solid 3 came out in 2008. That's the outdoor one, wasn't it? When you're in the jungle. Ollie Bolly. How's it going, Ollie Bolly? So he says Borat. I mean, I definitely don't look like Borat. It'd be. I mean, maybe if I got rid of the beard and just kept the mustache. Finley says, love when I forgot I had a burger waiting to be eaten. Now it's freezing and hard. That's a shame. What kind of burger is it? Are you a beef burger type of guy? Are you a chicken burger type of guy? Or is it a vegan burger? Evan says it's done. Yeah, I just haven't stopped the timer. To be honest, we're talking about burgers, which is more interesting than Liverpool, to be fair. I'll stop it to avoid the confusion. There we go. In a fantastical world, Alonso and Gerrard as co-managers. maybe in some sort of dream scenario, but I don't think they'd get. I think eventually those egos would clash. Cash Khan, is that John Pork? That's I can't see it. It's a bit small on my screen, but I think that's John Pork. That's John Pork, right? People are probably wondering who's John Pork. That's John Pork. Metal Gear Solid, that tells you to turn off the game, is scary AF. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid had some iconic innovations. In Metal Gear Solid 1, I won't ruin it for you, but if you're ever bored, have a look on YouTube for Metal Gear Solid 1 Mantis. It did something very iconic and very innovative. If you search for that, and it was mind blowing at the time. PS3 was born in 2008. Dang, I very clearly remember 2008. Metal Gear Solid is my favorite game. Nice. Have you played Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty? I presume you're more of a Solid Snake guy than a Raiden guy, so you're along the right lines. Mix of Mamdani and Shah Rukh Khan. I'll take that. It could be worse. Jeffrey says 30. That's the best way to explain it. I don't think a draw is good enough. I hope people don't get excited about this. I hope people don't feel good about this, because a draw at home, a draw at home is still not good enough. The rumors were that he needed to win both the West Ham game and this game to save his job. So it will be interesting to see what the outcome is now. FC Career Mode. Birthday message. Hi Kingsley. Lucas likes Darcy, but she doesn't like him back. Happy birthday. Does Darcy like you? So is Kingsley your friend? So who are you in this situation? Are you Lucas? Or are you Kingsley? Or are you somebody else? But I feel bad for Lucas if Lucas likes Darcy and then she doesn't like him in return. That's never good. Zayn says, I think Mascherano manages Inter Miami. Bring him in and create the that would be good. Best midfield in the world as a managerial trio. Maybe we can get Momo Sissoko back together as well. He can be fitness coach. I mean, a trio of managers would be quite extraordinary. Ollie is spamming jumping. What's jumping about? You're Matthew. Kingsley is your friend. Lucas thinks he's funny. Ah, I see what you mean. And who's Darcy? Is Darcy like a third party in this situation here? PS3's top Metal Gear Solid game. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2. Yeah, 4 was very good. The fight on the bridge at the end against who's the old guy? Is that Big Boss? Is it Big Boss? You know, at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4, where you have like a fist fight on the bridge. I can't remember, but yeah, 4 is good. I'd say I really enjoyed 2. I'd probably say 2, 4. 1 I actually haven't really played much, if I'm honest with you. I'd go 2, 4, and 3. 1 I haven't really played, and to be honest, 5 I haven't really played. Jeffrey says Sunderland played a fantastic game of football. Slots should take a few points. He should. I just don't know if he's a bit too stubborn at this point. But you're right. I just feel like whichever team Liverpool play, the other team seems to have more energy every single time. The other team seems more fit every single time. The other team closes the ball down better every single time. Darcy used to be shipped with Lucas, but Lucas really just likes Darcy. I see. This is very complicated. Does shipped mean to be in a relationship with? Is that what shipped means? So if people are shipped, does that mean they are in a relationship? I think. Yeah, Big Boss. Against Solid Snake. So Solid Snake was a clone from Big Boss, right? In Metal Gear Solid, I believe. This is going back a few years, because the last time I played Metal Gear Solid was when Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, which is a long time ago. Damien says, why do they find it so hard to pass to Isak? I mean, that's the $1 million question. Or should I say that's the £130 million question? It must. I'd presume it's tactical, but I feel like equally they've had enough time to figure that out now. Like, you'd at least expect them to pass it to Isak, and then if he messes it up, fair enough. Like, you can sort that. But it's the fact that they're not even passing it to him. Joe says, do the performances of Sunderland against the Big Six mean we should give Burnley credit? Possibly. I've been playing the remake. It's really good. Oh yeah, the remake came out recently. I might have to give that a try to refresh my memory. Metal Gear Solid is good, but the story is like quite deep. It's not like it's not a simple story. So I might need to play that just to jog my memory. Shipped means people think they should date. Oh, okay. Interesting. That's I got the definition wrong. I thought if somebody ships somebody, that meant they are in a relationship. But I didn't know that. I know that now. It's getting late, 20 past 12. Ooh, very late for you. Take care, Jeffrey. Hopefully the next game gives a better result. Joe says, imagine if there was a Imagine if there was a Prime documentary being filmed around Liverpool this season. Yes, they would have to list it in the horror section. They can put it alongside the other horror movies, like any ghost movies that they come across. Firecall says, hey bro, Liverpool needs a lot. They do need a lot. At this point, I just don't feel like they're believing in this manager anymore. Unfortunately. 5 is good, but Hideo Kojima made it open world. I'll be honest with you, I feel like open world games are overrated. Like, open world games are good, like Skyrim and whatever, Fallout. But sometimes I just like things being a bit more linear. Finley says Isak isn't the main man anymore. He isn't in a system that's designed for him to score anymore. And to be honest, I think you're right. I think kind of when he was playing alongside Murphy and Gordon, you can say, okay, Isak's the big dog up front. We need to pass it to him. I think the trouble is in the Liverpool team, there's lots of stars, so he's not the big dog, but I think that's a problem. I think Liverpool need to make him the big dog and pass him the ball and get him these opportunities so he can score. Get Benteke, Suso and Sterling back. Yeah, bring the old band back together. Get John Flanagan back. Get Michael Kelly back. Brev says, how is that Wirtz goal not counted, bro? That's crazy, bro. Not gonna lie, clean goal. It was an amazing goal. The way he kind of twisted and turned and kind of beat so many players. I was like, wow, that's an amazing goal. But has it been confirmed that that's been given as an own goal? Because that is disappointing. Yeah, it says Mukiele own goal. That's a shame. Jamal Benouf. How's it going, Jamal? Alla le Real a gagner. Well, gagner is the French verb to win. What's the verb alla? Is that to go? I think that's the verb to go. Does that mean go for a real win? I did GCSE French, but I'm gonna translate it because I'm only. No, I actually didn't do GCSE French. I did A-level French. Real Madrid have won. Okay, should have known that. Who were they playing? Athletic Club 3-0. Mbappe with 2. Camavinga with 1. Rodgers without a job. I would rather hire you, Joe, as Liverpool's manager. And to be honest, you don't even have to turn up. You can just turn up once a week. I'd rather that over Brendan Rodgers. Yeah, football is very flat. Alisson, Reina or Mamardashvili. I mean, Mamardashvili's a backup and hasn't really had a chance to prove himself, but I'd say Alisson. David says, Gakpo's so bad, he's so predictable. I know he should be able to use both feet. He is extremely predictable, and it is disappointing because whenever Gakpo gets the ball on the edge of the box, you know he's gonna shimmy it onto his right foot and then try and smack it into the top corner. And the predictability is a problem because the defenders know every single time precisely what Gakpo is gonna do. So they know if they just kind of stand to the left a bit, they'll block his shot. It is a problem. Like Diaz, I appreciate Diaz had his faults, but Diaz was at least unpredictable because you never knew, was he gonna cut inside, was he gonna take on his fullback? Was he gonna go for a shot? That's the problem with Gakpo. He's a bit too predictable. Horseman says, "I miss Klopp. I miss Klopp as well, and I miss the football. I miss the football Liverpool used to play with Klopp because it was energetic. It was exciting to watch, and you'd actually look forward to it. But this is just so slow and boring. You barely even look forward to it now." Jamel says, Le Real va jouer contre City. Say short. I think they're saying Real Madrid will play against Man City. It is hard. See, I did French at school. Oui, say très short. Say vendredi. Next week. But it will be tough. Wirtz's goal was very good. Like he beat like a few players, kind of shimmied about in the box, players flying around all over the place, smacked it at the goal. Unfortunately, it took a big deflection off the player, and I think that's why it's been given as a handball. Sorry, as a own goal. But the way he created space and the way he beat his players was quite impressive. Joe says, "You tell me who you want selling, and I'd get it done." The whole squad. Can we do a buy one get 22 free offer? See if that works. Horseman says, "We forgot how to score." Apparently, indeed we have forgotten how to score, forgotten how to pass, forgotten how to run, forgotten how to use our brains, forgotten everything. Dave wants Wirtz, Ekitike and Isak up front and get that ball up front faster. I think that's a good suggestion. Get the kind of clinical players up front, get the clinical, energetic players up front and get them the ball faster so that they can make something happen. I think they're just taking... There's this obsession with this current manager and this current team to just pass the ball around until the end of eternity, waiting forever for the perfect opportunity and then only taking your chance in that perfect opportunity. But sometimes that perfect opportunity does never arise. And in waiting for the perfect opportunity, Liverpool allow the other team to get back. And then suddenly, because Liverpool took so long, they don't just have to get the ball around 3 players, which is what would have happened if they were quick. They suddenly have to get the ball around 10 players, which makes it exponentially more difficult. Beaver, I like how your username is still Beaver after the other day. Was it like Evil Otter or something, and then you changed it to Beaver? Wolves could do with a few players. Give him Kanate. I mean, if we give Wolves Kanate, then Wolves are definitely getting relegated. Beaver says Isak was appalling per usual. The problem is, like, they weren't passing him the ball. Like, they paid £130 million for a striker, and unfortunately, they don't know how to get the best out of him. So he's just there. He's just existing, but he's not really being given the ball. Like, I think if you took Isak out of this team and you put Haaland into this team, the same thing would happen. Conversely, if you put Isak into City's team instead of Haaland, Isak would score plenty. Jamel says, Bebe, is that French? Yeah, Evilata was somebody else, but I think that's when you updated your username. Cardboard cutout would do more than Isak, and to be honest, more than half this team. I don't know what's gonna happen now, to be honest with you. I don't really see things changing for the better. I don't see things changing significantly. Jones class at right back. I mean, he was alright. I'm more interested to see Frimpong back, to be honest with you. Good old Jezza. If Frimpong's back, that's what I want to see. Oh, that's who I'm more excited for. At least with Frimpong, you have a bit more attacking intent. Blamo says, we get Isak, we're winning the league. I mean, this team needs to win a game first. What would your lineup be for Leeds? Oh, God, it's Leeds. When is Leeds? Is that Saturday or Sunday? It is. I hope it's Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday 5:30. Okay, interesting. I mean, I'd probably go for something similar today. Because what are the other opportunities? Yeah, Saturday. Not what are the other opportunities. What are the other possibilities? I just don't feel like there's any other possibilities other than putting Salah back in the team, and I just don't think Salah's all with it at the moment. I'd keep Wirtz there. I'd keep Isak there. I'd maybe put Ekitike on the left. Take care, Viva. Darren says Saturday 5:30. Yeah, nice one. Thank you for the confirmation. 5:30. I guess it beats a Sunday game. I never like Sunday games because I feel like you're waiting around your whole weekend to get the game, and then if you lose, you just feel like you wasted your whole weekend. But yeah. Saturday 5:30 will do. Would have preferred a 3 o'clock, but it is what it is. Ryan says Wirtz's goal was huge for him. I'm not counting that as an own goal. Yeah, it feels a bit unfair, kind of, to count that as an own goal, because I feel like he did all the work for it. He made the space. He beat the players. He got into the box. Like, I feel like he did like 95% of the work, and even if that shot doesn't take a deflection, I feel like that shot still goes in. So yeah, I'm kind of counting it as his goal as well, to be honest with you. But yeah, it should give him a lot of confidence. It should give him a lot of confidence at the very least. Had a good performance against West Ham. And then gets a kind of pseudo fake kind of goal. Kind of fake goal here. Should mean at least he's starting to play well. Fingers crossed he continues this form. But yeah, the biggest problem for me is probably Salah in the team. He's just not with it. He's just not with it physically. He's potentially not with it mentally. I think bringing him on at 45 minutes was a bit of a kind of cowardly thing. Man, they're showing like highlights of City and the way City just pass the ball around so easily. Just makes you wonder, why can't Liverpool do that? Too many. Too many Christmas dinners. Well, he's got another Christmas dinner to look forward to very soon. Does that mean he'll be even more lazy afterwards? After a couple of Yorkshire puddings and a bit of turkey? When Frimpong comes back, I maybe want to see Frimpong on the right hand side because he plays there for Netherlands. He can probably play there for his club as well. But anyway, it's effing late. 10:30. Be back on Saturday at 5:30. I don't really have much faith in this team to win that game. But let's see what happens. Anyway, have a nice evening.